chance. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our free math lessons. You're welcome. I know it's Thursday. I hope you're all getting ready for school and you've enjoyed a good summer. I'm sure uh, this has been one of the more interesting summers. There's no COVID. A lot of those, well, there is COVID, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And a lot of people have the freedom to spend time, go vacation with their family members and all of that good stuff. So I hope you got a chance to vacation with your family. And for the students, I hope you had a good summer. I hope you got some rest and all of that good stuff. And so looking forward to hanging out with you for the next hour or so. Feel free to post your comments, questions. I would like for this to be very interactive. And so if there are any questions out there that you have, or if I post up some questions, I'd like you to participate. Even if you don't know the answer, it's okay to just say, I'm not sure, just so that we can have some kind of participation going. There will be some puzzles here today, and the puzzles are not going to be all mathematical. So I want you to just have a good time. Have a good time. We're going to have some Algebra 1 today and a lot of Algebra 1 geometry. And then we'll have some SAT questions. Well, one SAT question and one ACT question. Everything is going to be math-based, the questions, but the puzzles may not necessarily be math-based. So let's see, where is everyone logging in from? We're in Texas, so are you from Texas? Are you from outside the United States? Feel free to just post your what country or state you're logging in from, or you're joining this session from. So look forward to a good hour of math fun. I'm always gonna show you the best way that I know will help you in answering this type of questions in the future. And whenever you're dealing with exams, sometimes there's a lot of pressure. Half of the time, the students struggle with math not because they don't necessarily know, but sometimes the pressure can lead to some anxiety, and then you forget everything. And so I'm going to show you the best ways to approach those the type of questions we're going to talk about, and show you how you can do that in the future. So we're going to get started with our first question. I'm going to pop into the comments every now and then to see what you all have to say, or to read your comment or anything of that sort. And also see the answers to the questions and the puzzles. Puzzles always tend to be more entertaining than anything because it allows students to think outside the box and all of that good stuff. So let's get started. This is the first question. It's an Algebra 1 question, and our topic is on lines and slopes. So let us know where you're joining us from. We have a few people online already. So high school students, today is going to be mostly high school related topics. Tomorrow we will have middle school and elementary school topics. But today is going to be very high school based. So we have a line, and we're trying to find the slope of any line that is parallel to this line and also perpendicular to this line. This is a very, very common topic. It's a very common topic in Algebra 1. And also, if you're going to be taking the SAT or the ACT, this is also a topic that you want to really understand how to approach. So we'll give you a few minutes to just walk through it, and then we'll walk through it together. I'll show you how to go about answering this type of question. All right, I'm waiting for some comments to come through. If you're not even sure what to do, feel free to say, I am not sure what to do. I have never seen this before, or I am going to Algebra 1 and I have not done this yet. And then we'll be able to, it'll give me some guidance on how to help you. And if there are topics that are of interest to you that we're not covering, please let us know, and I'll be happy to really address those for you as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this first question. It says, for the line 4x plus 3y equal to 12, what is the slope of any line that is A, parallel to this line, and B, perpendicular to this line? So we're going to first start by, whenever you have a problem like this and you've seen slope questions, the first thing that want to come to your mind is y equal to mx plus b. That's the first thing I want you to think about, y equal to mx plus b. All right, so Anastasia says the parallel line is -4/3 and the perpendicular is 3/4. Okay, thank you for your contribution. Let's go ahead and see whether she's right. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is rewrite this line in the form y equal to mx plus b. So let's go ahead and do that. So 4x plus 3y equal to 12. So what we have to do is isolate y, or in some places you can say we're solving for y, or we're trying to make y the subject of the equation. So let's go ahead and subtract 4x from both sides. So we have 3y equal to -4x plus 12. Remember, we're writing in this format, so the x is going to come first, and then we divide by 3. Divide everything by 3. So y equal to -4/3x plus 4. So now we have, this is the equation of the line that we have been given in what we call the slope-intercept form. This is your slope right here, and this is your y-intercept. So what do we need to know for lines to be parallel? They must have exactly the same slope. So for this one right here, this line here has to have the same slope as the line we're given. And you can see after writing in y equal to mx plus b, we have a slope of -4/3. So this is -4/3. Now for lines to be perpendicular, we call them the opposite inverse. Opposite meaning that if the number is positive, this is going to be negative. So if our slope is negative, the slope of the line perpendicular is going to be positive. So here's a simple way to go about it. First of all, you're going to switch the position of your numerator and denominator. So we have -4/3. So I'm going to start with 3/4. And then if your original line had a negative slope, this is going to be positive. If it had a positive slope, this is going to be negative. So they have an opposite behavior there. So Anastasia is correct. The slope of the line parallel to the given line is -4/3, and the slope of the line perpendicular is going to be 3/4. Very good, very good. So are there any questions on this? Feel free to post your questions. I'm looking at the chat right now, watching out for your comments, and I'll be happy to answer as many of them as you have as we can accommodate. So let's go ahead to the next question. The next question is going to be a geometry question. We're trying to find the distance x from the bottom of the sail to the stripe. So this is geometry, similar figures. Most of the time you will take a geometry class in 10th grade, but if you are a pre-AP or GT student, you're most likely going to be taking it in 9th grade. But there have been other instances where 7th or 8th graders are actually taking high school courses. So that's why I did not really put a grade beside it, because everybody has a different level of academic performance or where you are in your academics. So this is just geometry. So feel free to answer the questions. If you have taken a geometry class, or actually you will be able to take this to answer this question after about 8th grade, because I know that there's some kind of similar figures that are discussed in your 8th grade math. So I'm looking forward to your answers. And if you're not sure, if this seems foreign, also let me know that this is a foreign concept to you, and then I will factor that in the approach that I'm going to use to answer the question. Don't worry about being wrong. Here's just an opportunity to learn. So if you're wrong, it's fine. Let's see if some answers have come through. We'll be waiting for some answers to come through. If you're not sure, please let me know that you're not sure. But if you know it, go for it. I want you to just realize that we're applying the concept of similar figures. So what we're saying here is that there are two figures that are similar in this shape, and we're going to use that information to answer the question here. Let's give it a few more minutes, and then we'll be able to go ahead and answer these questions. Okay, so Anastasia is saying x is either 25 or 15, but she's not completely sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to answer this question. Let's go ahead and try to answer this question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where the similar figures are and the dimensions or the length of the sides that we really want to focus on. So I'm going to draw. You're going to have to pardon my drawing. So I'm going to draw the similar figures. So the first one is this triangle right here. Like I said, pardon my drawing. So we have this triangle right here, and it has the dimensions here of 4.8 over here, and this is 10. Then there is another triangle that looks exactly like that, and you can see it's the bigger one. And what you're going to see here with this triangle is this is 12, and this right here is going to be the sum of this side and this side. So this is going to be 10 plus x. So when you have similar triangles, the ratios of their sides are consistent. That means that they have the same value. So what we're going to do here is say that 4.8 over 12 is going to be the same value as 10 over 10 plus x. So let me go over it again. When you have similar figures, the ratio of the sides are consistent. So the ratio of this side to this side is going to be the same value as the ratio of this side to this side, because you can see that those sides are similar. They are the same type of side in the similar figures. So now that we have this, we're going to solve this fraction. What I can do here is, I know some students don't like working with decimals. So what we can do here is actually get rid of this decimal. We can look for something to multiply numerator and denominator so that we can get rid of the decimal, but we don't really have to do that. Let's go ahead and just deal with it the way it is. So we're going to do a cross product over here. Let's go ahead and do a cross product. When I say cross product, I'm multiplying diagonally, multiplying that way. So what we're going to have here is 4.8 multiplied by 10 plus x equal to 12 multiplied by 10. We can do that right here. So let's go ahead and distribute 4.8 into this expression here. So 4.8 multiplied by 10 is 48 plus 4.8x equal to 120. So now that we have this is high school. This is about 9th grade or 10th grade. So what we're going to do here now is subtract 48 from both sides. So let's go ahead and subtract 48 from both sides. And we have 4.8x equal to 72. So now that we're at this point, we're going to divide both sides because we need to find, because what is it asking? What is the distance x? We have to always make sure we remember what the question is asking. Let's focus on that. It's asking for the distance x. So we're going to divide both sides by 4.8. Divide both sides by 4.8. And so we have 72. So x is equal to 72 divided by 4.8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply numerator and denominator by, we can do by 10, just so we can get rid of the decimal. So we multiply this by 10, multiply by 10, we have 720 divided by 48. And then here, I like to stay away from the calculator as much as possible, but if your schools allow you to use a calculator here, go for it. But then you also have to deal with the ACT in the future where you will not be allowed, well, you can use a calculator, but it'll take your time. On the SAT, sometimes you will not be allowed to use a calculator. So I always recommend students get used to the idea of being able to do math without necessarily depending on a calculator. Of course, there are instances where you have no choice but to use a calculator, but if you don't have to, don't get used to using it. So I'm going to divide this by 12. This is going to give me 60 divided by 4. Divide this by 2. I have 2 here and I have 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So therefore x is equal to 15 feet. Any questions on this? So x here is 15 feet. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, drop them in the comments. Be happy to answer them. And then we'll go to our next question. Next question. Algebra 1 again, multi-step equations. For some of the students who have been in our summer program, they would have covered a question similar to this. We're just finishing our summer program for most students going to school in August. But for some students, if you're going to school in September and you need the month of August to get you ready, feel free to contact us. I'll share our flyer soon where you can see our contact details. Our phone number is 281-541-0172, or you can go on our website mathease.com, matheaze.com, and you can send us some information on how to reach you, and we'll be able to schedule that with you. All right, so let's go ahead and answer this question, algebra. If actually you've been in 8th grade, you can answer this. 7th grade math, you can also do some of this, but it's a topic that is really focused on in Algebra 1. So I'll give you a few minutes to try to answer these questions. After this, we're going to have a puzzle. So I'm looking forward to that. This puzzle is actually quite interesting. I'm trying to not make all the puzzles too mathematical. So this one shouldn't be too mathematical, even though it has numbers, but we'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and give you some more time to answer questions. I see some comments are coming in through Facebook. Let's see, do we have some answers yet? Algebra 1 students, if you're going into Algebra 1, you should be able to answer this as well. But if you're already past Algebra 1, feel free to answer it. I like to do this because it's important that as you are going into a new grade, that you do not forget everything you learned before. Okay, Anastasia is answering that x equal to -1. So we'll go ahead, we'll check, let's see if anybody else wants to answer this question or has attempted this question, and then we will walk through it together. Whenever you're answering questions that have parentheses, never forget PEMDAS. PEMDAS or GEMDAS. There are a lot of different acronyms. For some people it's BODMAS, but we don't. In BODMAS, the off sometimes can be multiplication, but the bracket is parenthesis in BODMAS. We use that's more of a European or English approach to order of operations in math. So let's go ahead and see. Let's answer the question. Let's go ahead and answer the question. So whenever we have any problems or any mathematical problems that have parentheses, or for those students that are not inclined in the American system of education, we can call them brackets as well. In the British system, this is called brackets. So we're going to first simplify our parentheses. I don't want to confuse the American students too, because brackets means something else to them. For the American student, this is what this here is brackets. So just indulge me this time around. These are parentheses for the students that are taking Algebra 1. So we're going to first go ahead and distribute the parentheses. So we have multiply 3 by this expression. So we have 6x minus 15 equal to, and then we distribute 4 in here as well, 4x minus 24 plus 7. So we'll go ahead and simplify this. Let's group common terms together. So we have 6x minus 15, negative 20, so we have 4x here, negative 24 plus 7 is negative 17. So we can decide where we want the variables to be and where we want the constants to be. So I'll probably keep the variable on the left hand side and move the constants to the right. So that simply means I have to subtract 4x from both sides to get rid of the variable on the right hand side. So we have 2x minus 15 equal to negative 17. And then we're going to add 15 to both sides to make sure that we have variables only on the left-hand side and constants only on the right-hand side. So we have 2x equal to -2. But we need to isolate, we're solving for x, so we have to divide both sides by 2. So x equal to -1. And the answer Anastasia has given is the correct answer. Just quick reminder, if you're joining us for the first time and you've not been on our channel previously, please go ahead and give us a subscribe and even like this video as well, so that when you subscribe, don't just subscribe but hit the bell notification, so when we post new videos or when we go live, you get a notification about our live sessions. And I will be posting a few videos within most likely this weekend, videos on things like matrices for those going to Algebra 2. That's going to be a topic that you need to be familiar with. It's also a topic on the ACT. So I'm going to post some videos on matrices this weekend and most likely some other topics that should help you as you get ready for school. So now that we have done this, let's go to our first quiz of the day. Let's go to, our first puzzle of the day. Our first puzzle of the day. 12593 is to 35291, and 29684 is to 46982. Then what is 729362? This is really about testing the order of the way numbers are written, so it shouldn't be too difficult. It's a first one, so I try to make it pretty light. So this, even if you're not in high school and you're here, everyone should be able to answer this. This has nothing to do with high school at all. This is just about reasoning. Let me know just post your answers once you have them. This always tends to be a very interesting part of the live sessions that we have, because it gives you an opportunity to see how you're thinking. And sometimes when you're in a lower grade, you will not overthink things, because most students in high school, they probably overthink things because they're thinking this is something that they've learned in school they have to apply, but this has absolutely nothing to do with that. So let's wait for the answers to come trickling in. Let's see what our audience is saying. No answers yet. Don't overthink it. Okay, I see 62937. That's one of the answers that we have. Anybody else want to take a stab at this? 62937 is the first answer that we have. Okay, so I see that seems to be our dominant answer. Let's see if one more person wants to try, and then we can go ahead and I'll show you how I'm going to think through it. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to think through this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to think through this problem. So I see 12593. So this right here, 3 goes to position number 1. 5 goes to position number 2. 2 goes to position number 3. 9 goes to position number 4. And 1 goes to position number 5. Okay, let's go ahead and see if the same pattern exists for the second number. So 4 goes to position number 1, 8 goes to position number 4, 9 goes to position, so 6 right here goes to position number 2, 9 here goes to position number 3, and 2 goes to position number 5. So you can see here that we have a rearrangement of the positions of these numbers. We have 5, 3, 2, 4, 1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to write 5, 3, 2, 4, 1. So 6 is going to be in position number 1. 9 is going to go to position number 2. 3 is going to go to position, 2 is going to go to position number 3. And then 3 is going to go to position number 4. And then 7 is going to go to position number 5. So it's 6, 9, 2, 3, 7. 6, 9, 2, 3, 7. I know this was a good one. Doesn't matter if you got it wrong, but this is just logic. This is logical reasoning. So you just apply. You look for patterns. You look for patterns, and then use the same patterns to answer the questions that you're given. All right. So we're going to talk about our back to school program. So this back to school is out for a lot of students in our local community in Texas. They're going back to school within the next 2 weeks or so. And so we want to make sure that we're available to help you get ready as you prepare to go back to school. We are going to make sure that you get to school and you are not overwhelmed, because from a lot of the teachers that we get to speak, we have the privilege to speak with, they find that the first grading period tends to be one of the most challenging ones for students, because there's something in education called knowledge loss, which means that some of the stuff you learned before, you have completely forgotten it. And sometimes we study not to retain knowledge, we study just to pass our test. And so during the summer, we see a lot of that happen, where students have forgotten virtually everything they learned the previous semester and sometimes the previous year. So what we want to do is make sure that we get ahead of that, and you are not having to deal with knowledge loss when you go back to school. It makes the whole school experience overwhelming, and we are here to help you. So we're going to be able to help you in math, science, and when we say math, we're looking at elementary math, middle school math, and then your high school math, whether it's Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, Pre-Calculus. Those are the things that we'll be able to help you with. And then English and language arts. The way we have it is we have one-on-one for students that prefer that approach. We also have a semi-private setup where you can have students from the same family that love to learn together, or students or friends that want to learn. It's usually not more than 3 people in our semi-private group, and then semi-private setup, and then we have a small group setup where we have about 3 to 5 students. We don't like to do a lot of big groups for this setup, so that students get the most out of it. But if we have a group for like SAT or ACT, we can do a larger group, because most students are about at the same level of knowledge, and they are learning exactly the same thing, and they have exactly the same challenges. So that's what our back to school program is. So if you need to contact us about back to school, for parents, if you're a parent watching, and you know that your child or the students in your home did not do any work this summer, they spend a lot of time traveling or having a good time, which they earned anyway, this is the opportunity to just kind of get them started and ease them into the school year. And we're here. So our phone number is available there, our email address, and also our website. Feel free to contact us. Someone will get back to you as soon as possible when you contact us. So we'll go ahead and continue with our live session. So we have Algebra 1 functions. So we're looking at completing function tables, using function definitions to complete a function table. This is going to be a review for a lot of the students that were in our Algebra 1 summer program, but we also need to make sure that if you're going to Algebra 1 next semester, you at least get an idea of the kind of topics that you need to prepare your mind for. You need to be mentally ready to engage with. So I'll give you a few minutes to answer this question. This is something I pulled up from something similar in an ACT exam. It's similar, but I just did not give you any Y values, any output values. So go ahead and take a stab at this and let's see what you come up with. If you're not in Algebra 1, I know some you may be joining us from maybe Canada or Europe or somewhere in Europe. I know you guys don't do Algebra 1 or Algebra 2. It's one of the, I personally think it's one of the challenges that we have in the math system, so in the United States. So feel free to answer the question. We'll be happy to walk through this with you as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them. I'll be happy to get out of my scheduled program to address your question. Okay, I see Farm Squad. Not sure who that is. Feel free to let me know your name if you want me to address you by your name. But thank you for joining us, Farm Squad. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe so that next time we go live, you'll be notified. And when we post videos, from based on some of the feedback we get from our students, we like to post some videos to help other students address the same challenges, because we believe that if any of the students we have in our program is having a question, it's possible that many more students may have the same question. So when we address those, we'll post a video on our channel. So when we do that, if you subscribe and hit the bell, you will be notified when that happens. All right, so I see Jaden is attempting some questions. So attempting the question. So we'll give a few minutes on this one because there are quite a few answers to deal with. There are about 5 output values we're looking for. So I'll give you a few more minutes on this. If you have any questions, feel free to post the questions. Be happy to address them. If there's a topic that you would like us to maybe cover in the next live stream, our next live stream will be next week, Thursday, for high school students. But then we have one tomorrow for younger grades, elementary and middle school or junior high school. We'll be doing those tomorrow. But the next high school live stream will be next week, Thursday. Okay, so I see 3 answers. So let's see. Let's give it maybe about 1 more minute on this, and then we'll be able to answer them together. So Jaden has 1 answer, so I'm hoping he'll have 4 more answers. Like I said, like you can see here, this is Algebra 1. This is functions learning. It's about learning how to use the definition of a function to create output values from input values. You could also use the function definition to get your input values if your output values are given. So that's okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and try to answer this question. So what I'm going to do with function definitions here is I'm going to teach you how to read functions first, because I noticed that that is an area that is not really given a lot of focus whenever we're learning about functions. So when I have a function that is written like this, y equal to negative 3x minus 4, here's another way you could write this. This is going to be y equal to negative 3 multiplied by x minus 4. So the way you would read this function is as follows. You would say y is a function such that for every value of x, I'm going to multiply by negative 3 first, and then I'm going to subtract 4 from the result. So that's another way to read a function. Once you can read functions, one of the things I like to do with my students is get them to write the function in words. I want to make sure that you understand exactly what you're looking at. So, let me just say that again. Whenever you're reading this function, it's going to read as this. For every value of x, I am going to multiply that value of x first by negative 3, and then I'm going to subtract 4 from the result that I get. So let's go ahead and use that to answer this question. So we're going to first start by multiplying negative 7 by negative 3, and then we're going to subtract 4 from that. So this is going to be 21 minus 4, which is 17. So I'm going to write 17 over here. Then we're going to multiply the value of x, which is negative 5, by negative 3, and then we're going to subtract 4 from that. This is going to be 15 minus 4, which is equal to 11. We do the same here as well. Negative 2, we're going to multiply by negative 3, and then subtract 4. So this is going to be 6 minus 4. This is going to give us 2. And we do exactly the same. Now our value is positive 3, so we're going to multiply. We're going to have positive 3. Well, we don't have to use parentheses when it's positive. So this is 3, and we'll multiply by negative 3, and then we subtract 4 from the result. So negative 9 minus 4, which is negative 13. Negative 13. And then for 8, we have 8 multiplied by negative 3, and then we subtract 4. Negative 24 minus 4, which is equal to negative 28. So the value here is going to be negative 28. So very well done, very well done. Farm Squad, Anastasia. So Jaden, I hope you understand it now based on what we've covered. Just remember, whenever you're trying to complete this function table, learn how to read what the function is first. If you know how to read the function, everything else becomes pretty simple to do. Okay, so let's go to our next question. Our next question is a geometry question. This is on polygons. A regular polygon is a polygon that has all its sides congruent, or we can say equal for those that have not taken geometry. And because of that, all the interior angles have the same value. So a regular polygon has exterior angles that measure 40 degrees. How many sides does the polygon have? That's the first part of the question. And what is the sum of its interior angles? I'll give you some time to think through it, and if you need a hint, let me know. Just type hint in the chat and I will give you a hint. So if you need a hint on this, if you're taking geometry and you're going to Algebra 2 for for students in the United States, if you need a hint on this, let me know. Or if you're going into geometry from Algebra 1, also let me know if you need a hint on this. This is actually a very common type of ACT question. So for those of you that are trying to take the ACT exam, these are the kind of things that they will need you to know. Something that I think I need to call out as a big difference between the SAT and the ACT is that on the SAT, on the first page of your math test, there's actually a few formulas that you're given. On the ACT, there's nothing. So you have to know all of this stuff. And how do you know this? By continuously practicing the concepts. I'm spending a lot of time understanding. And if you spend enough time practicing ACT type questions, after a while you will know exactly what types of formulas you need to know and what formulas you don't really need to care about, because the tests are typically the same from test to test. Okay, I think it has 9 sides. Okay, very good. So it has 9 sides. I need a hint for the interior angles. If you know what the exterior angle is, how do you get the interior angle from the exterior angle? That's one way to go about it. If you know what the interior angle is, you can easily get the exterior angle. Let me just try to draw a polygon right here, and then we'll see if this hint will help. Let's do this, do this, do this here, and maybe here. So if we have an interior angle, we have an exterior angle given, so this is your exterior angle. So you can easily get your interior angle because your exterior and interior angle add up to, they make a straight line. So you know what those will add up to. Right after this, we're going to do an SAT question, and then we'll do an ACT question, and then we'll do a puzzle before we call it a day. Okay, so we have 9 sides. Very well, very good. With a regular polygon, for those who are not aware, with a regular polygon, the sum of your exterior angles are always going to be the same regardless of the number of sides. Let me say that again. In a regular polygon, the sum of, actually for any polygon, only that in a regular polygon, all your exterior angles have the same value. But in a polygon, the sum of your exterior angles are always the same, regardless of the number of sides of that polygon. That is correct, Anastasia. That is one way to go about it. I'm going to show you a few ways to actually do this one. There are quite a few ways to do it. So your formula is missing something. Yeah, your formula is missing something. Okay, I'll give you like maybe an extra minute to think through it, and then looks like everyone that has answered, except Jaden, has not answered that correctly, but Farm Squad and Anastasia have answered the number of sides correctly. And so that should give you a lot of information to get the sum of its interior angles. Let's give you a few more minutes to work on this, and then we'll answer them together. Okay, remember, let me give you this. Remember, in any polygon, the sum of its interior angles is n minus 2 triangles. You remember that? In a polygon, the sum of its interior angles is n minus 2 triangles. if I look at this polygon that I have here, for example, I'm going to show you how we come at that. Look at this. I can draw a line from here to here to give me one triangle. I can also draw a line from here to here to give me another triangle. So you can see here that we have, this is the 5-sided polygon. So it's a pentagon, if we want to call it. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a pentagon. And so you can see here that inside of this pentagon, we have 1, 2, 3 triangles. So it is the sum of the interior angles is n minus 2 multiplied by 180, which is the sum of angles in a triangle. So n minus 2 multiplied by 180. So you can see here that this is going to give you, n minus 2 is going to be 3 multiplied by 180. And you can see here that we have 3 triangles inside of this shape. So let's go ahead and start by figuring out the number of sides. The number of sides of a polygon is always, n is always equal to 360 degrees divided by the exterior, the value of each exterior angle. And this is because it's a regular polygon. Like I said earlier, a regular polygon is one in which all the sides are the same length, and also all the interior and exterior angles have the same value. So what I'm going to do here is, n is going to be 360 divided by 40. This is going to give you 9. So this regular polygon has 9 sides. Now, how do we go about finding the sum of its interior angles? I'm going to show you 2 different approaches. One of them is the number of, so we're going to have the total sum of the interior angles of any polygon is 180 multiplied by n minus 2. So we have n minus 2 triangles. So this is going to give you 180 multiplied by 9 minus 2, which is going to be 180 multiplied by 7, which is 1260 degrees. So this is going to be the sum of all the interior angles of a polygon. Now there is some information in the question that should give us a hint. So you can see here that the exterior angle is 40 degrees, which means the interior angle is going to be 140 degrees, and there are 9 interior angles, so you multiply that by 9 and you also get 1260 degrees. So these are 2 different approaches to answering the second part of this question. With regard to the first part, there's just about one approach, which is to divide the 360 by the value of each exterior angle. So I hope this makes some sense to you. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, where did the 140 come from? Very good question. So when we have a polygon, let's draw a polygon. Let me just discard this one, and we're going to draw a different polygon. Let me use a different color just so that it's different. Okay, so we have a polygon here. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm just going to try to clean it up. Freehand. Okay, so this is our polygon. So what I'm saying here is, if the exterior angle is 140, which is going to be this, right? It's 40 degrees. look at this. This exterior angle has its own interior angle. You can see that the sum, this is 40 degrees, sorry, 40 degrees. So you can see here that the interior and exterior angles form a straight line. And when we have angles on a straight line, they always add up to 180 degrees. So that means here that this interior angle is going to be 180 degrees minus 40 degrees, which is 140 degrees. I hope that clears it up for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and answer some SAT and one ACT question. For the solution xy to the system of equations above, what is the value of x minus y? This is from section 3. Section 3 is the math section of the SAT that does not permit the use of a calculator. What is the value of x minus y? What is the value of x minus y? This could be given in that you could actually have this as a multiple choice or a free response. I have seen this type of questions in either one of those sections. That is why I did not bring it. I did not put any of the multiple choice options. I'll give you a few minutes to answer this. Let's see if we have some answers. This is system of equations. System of equations. This is actually not as difficult as it looks. Give you a few more minutes and then we'll do an ACT question, and after that we will do another puzzle, and then that will be the end of our session today. And if you have any friends, family, siblings that are in elementary or middle school or junior high school, tomorrow will be their own day. We'll do the same kind of thing for them, the topics that are very relevant to what they will be, what we believe will be some of the first few types of topics that they should be confronting when they get into the next grade. So that's what this is about, making sure that everyone is ready for the school year. We never like to see students struggle when they get back to school. Okay, let's go ahead and answer this question. So 7x, let's answer this question here. So we have 7x plus 3y equal to 8. 6x minus 3y equal to 5. So if I look at this, 3y and 3y, I can easily eliminate this by adding the two equations together. So we have 7x plus 6x is 13x. 3y plus negative 3y, that is 0. and this is going to give us 8 plus 5 is 13. So we divide both sides by 13, and we have x equal to 1. And now we're going to substitute x equal to 1 into either one of these equations. So 7 multiplied by 1 plus 3y equal to 8. So 7 plus 3y is equal to 8. And so we're going to have, subtract 7 from both sides. We have 3y equal to 1. And then we divide both sides by 3. And we have y is 1/3. Now we need to find here x equal to 1. So we need to find the value of x minus y. X minus y. This is going to be 1 minus 1/3. And I'm going to use the method that I like to use with subtraction. So 1 is I'm going to rewrite that as 1 over 1 minus 1 over 3. I don't believe in just memorizing things. I mean, naturally, you'll probably have memorized that this is going to be 2/3, but let me show you how to get 2/3. We're going to multiply it this way, multiply it that way, and multiply it this way. So 3 multiplied by 1 is 3, minus 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, over 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. So this is going to give us 2/3. So x minus y is 2/3. All right, let's go ahead and answer the final question for today. This is going to be an ACT math question. Function g is defined by g xyz equal to 4xy minus 3xz squared. So this is going to be another instance of being able to define a function, being able to read what a function is, and let's give you some time to walk through this. What is the value of g2, 4, negative 3 based on the function definition given? After this, we're going to do a puzzle. Should be a pretty light one. And then we will be done for today's live session. Okay, let's go ahead and answer this. Let's answer this one. It shouldn't be too crazy. So g, x, y, and z is 4xy minus 3xz squared. So let's see how this reads. For any function that is defined by g, so that means for any function g that has input variables x, y, and z, we're going to multiply x and y together and multiply by 4. Then we are going to square the z variable, multiply it by x, and then multiply that by 3, and we're going to subtract that from the result of xy multiplied by 4. So Anastasia says this is going to be negative 22. So let's go ahead and see if she's right. She may be right. Let's see what happens. So G, we have 2, 4, -3. So I'm going to multiply x and y by 4. So this is going to be 2 and 4. So we multiply this by 4 minus 3 multiplied by x. X is 2. And then z squared, -3 squared. So we have 4 multiplied by xy, 2, 4. So this is 4 multiplied by 2. That's 8 multiplied by 4. That is 32. Minus -3 squared is 9. 9 multiplied by 2 is 18. 18 multiplied by 3 is 54. So 32 minus 54, that will give you -22. And that is the correct answer. Good job. Good job on answering the questions correctly. And good job on for anyone who has participated. Thank you for your participation. Feel free to share this. Next week we will continue working with the high school students on their math preparation for school. And tomorrow we will have elementary school and middle school students. Let's do our final puzzle for today. What are the missing letters? What are the missing letters here? There are 4 missing letters. Let's give you some time to think through it. What are the missing letters here? M-N-O-P. Okay, okay. Let's see if somebody else has an answer. M-N-O-P is one answer. E-F-G-J. E-F-G-J. Okay, let's go ahead and let's see what's happening actually in this puzzle. So I have A here. I'm going to put a B right here. And I have CD. I'm going to put a EF over here. Can you see that the number of missing letters matches the level we're coming from? So if you look here, A. Okay, Farm Squad, well done. So we have A over here. CD, you can see that we have only one letter missing, and because we came from a level that has only one letter. Now we go to CD, and then we are going to GHI. We have 2 letters missing, so that means that we have the same number of missing letters as the level we just came from. So here we have 3 letters. We're going to a row that has 4 letters, but we're going to have 3 missing letters. So it's going to be I, J, K, L, and then we're going to have here M, N, O, P. Well done, Farm Squad, Anastasia, Jaden. Good job trying. It's always good to try. And so I hope you understand just the thought process for this puzzle. And that brings us to the end of the math content or the live session. But before we go, I want to remind you our live back to school program is kicking off already. And if you're going to be going back to school anytime soon, I know for those in Texas, you're going back to school, I believe somewhere in the second or third week of August. Don't go to school and get overwhelmed. What we want to be able to do is to start you off. Our back to school program is to give you a head start on the topics you're going to be doing in the first grading period so that you'll be a bit more settled in as you get back to school. So feel free to share this. You have this is our contact information. Go on our website. You will be able to send us a message, or you have our email address here. You can send us an email to express your interest or to ask any questions about the program, and we'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you again for your time, and hope you have an enjoyable rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you again next week as we learn math together. So enjoy your day, and God bless you. Continue to enjoy the rest of your summer vacation. Bye for now.